Hello, I'm Mors Radis. Welcome back to Deathgate.
I'm still rulebook heavily.
And when we left Haplo, we had just landed on Arianis, where apparently they have got magical spears planted in the ground.
Glowing chicken feet. Makes perfect sense.
Now, we have available to us just this cave, but there are people living there. They don't seem to mind us barging in. This is kind of a recurring thing for Haplo.
Haplo instantly recognizes this as a dwarf, and honestly, I can't blame him.
Well, a really short person, and dwarves exist, so what else is it going to be?
Haplo knows the rules. When someone asks you if you're a god, say yes.
Unfortunately, the gods around here have other rules, apparently. They glow.
Yes. She doesn't actually mind, yes, he told me he was a god, I don't believe him, but that's okay. He can come in anyway.
Yeah, she's really very chill about everything.
Yeah. I don't like her character in this game, mostly because she's such a change from what she is in the novel. Spoilers, she's a character from the novel. And in that book, she's basically Che Guevara who leads the dwarves to rebellion.
In this book, she pulls levers.
In
this game, yeah.
And she's very supportive.
Yeah, that about covers it. Pulls levers, is supportive.
Hang on, Haplo doesn't act like a god because he doesn't yell and command and take things.
Well, two of those three things are true.
Yeah.
Haplo's gonna take a lot of things.
Also, it looks like the gods are messing with things and poking their noses where they shouldn't be.
Yeah, for gods, they don't really seem to know all that much about what they're dealing with.
Imperious and self-centered. I'd heard that gods were supposed to be generous and helpful.
She does have a pretty good point there. If you're born just glowing, that doesn't really give you the right to boss everyone around.
Electric zinger? What's that?
The zingers are set up on the poles outside of the cave.
Yeah, dwarves are very pragmatic. Oh yeah, the electricity.
Whimsy and electricity and God, I hate the name Kixie Whimsy.
Kixie Whimsy! Yeah, this is very whimsical, very funny and very cute and all that. The Kixie Whimsy is named that in the novel as well. The Kixie Whimsy is a continent-spanning machine on the lowest continent of Arianis. And the dwarves...
It is the dumbest goddamn name there has ever been.
The Kixie Whimsy? What's that?
Yeah, what's the Kixie Whimsy?
It digs holes, it makes water, and it does things. I hope you don't want more than that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Kixie Whimsy, actually, the thing about it is, you're gonna be looking at the dwarves in this and thinking, well, this is all whimsical and funny and cute and all that. They toned this down from the novel.
I'm kind of glad I didn't read that.
Yeah.
So, the dwarves have no idea what the Kixie Whimsy
This is all very
does.
interesting, but can you tell me more about
Yeah, they base their social roles entirely on the services their ancestors provided to the machine. So she's a lever puller, she pulls levers. We'll meet a character later with the last name Bolt Tightener because he comes from a family of bolt tighteners whose entire job is to tighten bolts.
He doesn't tighten bolts, though. He's not very good at that.
Yeah, he kind of failed the examination for that. This divine intervention.
When it arrived, your
Yeah,
glowing figure claimed to be a god.
Haplo, meanwhile, Haplo has a lot of character for someone whose everything he says is determined by the player.
You bought it? I mean, he says that as if he hadn't just tried to, actually convince her earlier that he was a god.
Yeah, Haplo's kind of a dick like that.
If they looked like you, I would have just thought that they were big, but
Well,
not
he's
gods.
opportunistic.
A
No,
few
it's-
extra feet of height doesn't make you divine.
How exactly have these gods taken control?
They moved into the
He also has the chance to meet these gods shortly after this.
I don't like them.
There aren't that many of them, but Haplo's not going to fight them because Haplo doesn't like fighting.
Aren't you supposed to know all that stuff?
Yeah, he's more of an avoidance kind of person.
I mean, he did survive the labyrinth, but he's not gonna hit anyone. He really does not like fighting.
Why don't you just
He likes solving puzzles.
They're
and-
gods. You don't just tell gods to go away if they get inconvenient. I like them, but they're ours.
Yeah, the dwarves, well, they are not entirely clear on how theology works, are quite devout.
Nice place you got.
Yeah. Also, Jar there is very complacent about the gods because she's much more gung ho in the novel. I could spend this entire video talking just about her character in the novel. She's one of my favorite characters in the series. But honestly, if they had to cut something from the game and they cut a lot for the sake of the game, I don't regret actually cutting the Dwarf Rebellion subplot.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sad that we didn't get it, but from what else I've heard about what was on Arianis, I mean,
This room doesn't look big enough for two.
it was an acceptable loss.
Yeah, the thing about the game is it cuts out, the book has an actual plot, which is which ties later into the overarching theme of the series, but they cut out the book's entire plot and just keep the overarching theme.
Yeah, so in the game, Jar's entire role is to tell us about how her
Isn't that kind of a limited
boyfriend,
run?
husband, roommate, Limbic, likes to have marmalade on his bread.
Yeah. We are a powerful wizard and we are going to be using a lot of marmalade.
Does he like these guys?
Oh yeah, marmalade is one of the most important things in the game, so we're gonna steal it from Jar and never look back.
We've been serving them when we were meant to serve the Kixie Whimsy. He says that we've been oppressed.
And we're also going to largely ignore the whole dwarven oppression thing. I mean, we might solve that problem, but it's kind of going to be incidental.
Yeah, it's not Haplo's problem, so he doesn't really care.
Yeah, the only reason we're going to solve it is because we need to, and not because we actually give a shit about these guys.
Can we talk about something else?
All right.
If we gave a shit about these guys, we might actually help them rebel, and we're definitely not going to do that.
Yeah, pretty much. Say hello to Limbic. Oh, here we go.
Yep, instead we're going to steal Jar's food, Limbic's food, Limbic's shirt, the hook that Limbic's shirt hangs on.
Yeah, okay,
We're gonna
that's
try to
kinda
wear
weird.
that shirt, but, yeah, it doesn't fit. Haplo is a bit too big for that.
And then we take the clothes peg, because why the hell not? I mean,
we're
it's
also
not-
we're also going to short sheet the bed, but the dwarves aren't going to notice that part.
Haplo's a dick.
Yep.
Why even short sheet the bread? Why, Haplo?
It was an option available to me. And here we have Limbic. Limbic writes
My word.
speeches.
What are you?
Limbic doesn't do anything
I'm
else.
Haplo. What are you?
Kind of bad at this whole rebel thing.
Oh, that's
Yeah. So I love Haplo's response here. I mean, he has so much character for a character who doesn't have one.
Yeah, he's really sarcastic. A lot of his dialogue options are just based around him being really annoyed and sarcastic with people.
Yeah. Here we go, Limbeck Bolt Tightener.
I don't know the gods or
You look at him and you think, well, he read speeches and talks about oppression and freedom and all that. Is he like a much better character in the novel? No, this is a pretty faithful representation. He's a nerd.
Yeah, I think he worked better in the novel, though, because he had Jar to play off of.
Yeah, she was sort of the driving force that, actually drove him towards doing heroic things and such. Not that he ever did those, but...
But, I mean, he was... Here he's just comic relief.
Yeah.
And Grapple Rockdigger, who he's telling us about, I really don't think he was in the novels, because his role in the plot is to be, the reason that Haplo wants to do anything at all for these guys.
He is also the dwarf who is the most dwarf.
Yes, he's old, he's cranky, and he's not going to do anything he doesn't want to do.
He won't talk to anyone except in insults.
Really, the only thing that keeps him from being peak dwarf is that he doesn't drink.
Yeah, no dwarves in this on Arianus actually drink, and that's actually a curious thing. Jar mentioned earlier that the Kixie Wincy produces water. Arianus is the world of air, and the thing is, when you create the world of air and the world of water and so on, and segregate the elements, there's not a lot of water for everyone to go around.
Yeah, there's a lot of storms outside, but not much in the way of rain.
So, the Kixie Wincy becomes very important to the survival of Arianus because it produces water. And in the novels, the unit of currency on Arianus is the barrel or barrel of water.
That doesn't really come up quite as much in the game. We don't really deal with money at all, but water remains really important.
Here we go, the Mangers.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I thought it was Mangers because I didn't install the version of the game that has sound.
I thought it was...
Yeah. Mangers makes a lot more sense.
And I thought it was Mangers, which makes even less sense.
But he's actually a word, at least.
Yeah. Mangers is a corruption of managers, pretty obviously, and we're going to learn more about them in a bit.
Yeah, they are rather important to what there is with Dwarven.
I have to convince my fellow dwarves that these gods aren't what they claim.
Which, I mean, before the gods arrived, Dwarven theology was largely based around maintaining Kixie Wincy.
For the day that the Mangers would return, etc., etc.
Yeah, they have no idea why they're doing it. The Mangers just kind of went away and never came back. Which sounds kind of familiar now.
Spoken word could have the opposite effect of what I'm trying to achieve. I only deliver my speeches after I'm entirely happy with
them. Nerd!
Yeah, he doesn't really give speeches, he just writes them.
Yeah. The speeches are important enough in the novel that he actually gets exiled from the island. And exile from the Kixie Wincy means being strapped to a kite and tossed off the island into the maelstrom below.
I'm guessing that Haplo saves him from that? Probably by accident?
Well, it's more that he crashes into Haplo.
So yeah, accidentally saves him. But in this version, Haplo already has a boat. And so yeah, the gods care about the water production of the Kixie Wincy, but aren't letting the dwarves repair anything else. The gods are kind of dicks.
What kind of god needs water? I should never do Kirk impressions again.
No, you shouldn't. So, he's also writing his speeches on the back of old papers that no one can read. That sounds kind of interesting, so I think I'm going to steal a paper.
Yeah, but not just any paper.
No, he won't let us take just any paper.
How did you learn this?
When the gods arrived,
here we go.
Yeah, this is why he's sure the gods are not, in fact, gods.
Aboard the ship. I actually saw one of them, not shining at all.
He saw them do magic to make themselves glow, and obviously if you don't glow all the time, you're not a god.
And being able to do magic is not impressive to dwarves, despite the fact that they are not wizards, and have none.
Well, I mean, they know about magic, they just can't do it.
Yeah, and it fails to impress them. I do like dwarves sometimes.
Yeah. So the gods demand tribute in the form of water because, well, they're not gods and they need water to drink.
And if water is money, well, that's important.
Yeah. So this is going to be kind of a problem for us, though, because thanks to Limbic, we can't just stow away on the god's ship. And so we're going to have to do something if we want to be able to rummage through their stuff.
Which is the highest goal of any adventure, of course.
Oh, yeah, we're adventure game protagonists. We need to rummage through their stuff and find anything that's not nailed down.
And then steal the things that are nailed down. Seriously, a clothes peg? Come on. Come on,
it wasn't
Hello.
nailed down, it was just stuck in the wall.
Close enough. It was a clothes peg. Come on.
Well, it was a pipe.
Let's get back to talking about this place, shall we?
So, Limbic doesn't know a lot, except about dwarf society, but fortunately we kind of need to... Oh yeah, the broom closet.
Yeah. Joke stolen from the book. Like I said, they toned it down.
Yeah.
Be very, very glad that we don't see the electric rail system.
Nope, just their weird lightning rod electricity generators.
Yeah. The Kixie Wincy is represented here by 4 rooms. That's really all you need.
Yeah, it digs tunnels, it makes water, and you can see some machinery if you poke around the area.
And very importantly, only dwarves live in the Kixie Wincy. There are no humans in the Kixie Wincy, there are no elves, the mangers or mangers. I mean, no one has seen them for a long time.
They used to live here, they don't live here anymore.
Yeah. And it kind of gives the impression the Sartan made Arianas, and they put all the dwarves, or at least a large number of dwarves, on the lowest island, segregated from everyone else.
To take care of this machine, yeah.
Yeah, and that sort of gives you an idea of the ideal Sartan social order. Total racial segregation.
Yeah, they were not really big fans of everyone working together.
Yeah, the harmony to them was more everyone in their place.
So, because we've exhausted most of his conversation topics, Haplo's, now caught... He saw some things that he wants to steal, and he's going to start asking about them.
Too bad you can't just take a gigantic jug of ink.
Yeah, that jug is about as big as Limbic is. Even Haplo can't fit that in his pocket.
That's all. I have to go.
Very well. I must
Like, I'm not even kidding there. That is a gigantic jug. This is not a perspective thing. It really is as big as Limbic.
Yeah. Now, Haplo technically can read these, but
But
yeah.
Haplo's spent his entire life in the labyrinth and has no idea what they're talking about.
Everything where I wanted it.
I like to.
We can't just steal one because he'll get mad at us, though. We can steal the fist-sized cork to his ink jug.
And now we feed him.
Yeah, we can't eat the bread ourselves because it's too hard, but Limbic will eat it.
Yeah, it's dwarf bread, straight out of Discworld.
Yeah, but he thinks we didn't put enough marmalade on it, so let's give him some more. That seems right.
Oh dear.
Yeah, he liked that one, but I think we could have fit more marmalade on that one. He needs more marmalade.
Oh, I love how the answer to this puzzle is not to give him what he wants, but to give him, like, too much.
Yeah, we need a lot of marmalade for Limbic.
Look at the bread slice, holy crap.
Yeah, that seems like he had enough marmalade this time.
I like the little effort here. Whenever there's a paragraph in which someone speaks, even if it's like just incidental, they voice act it.
Yeah, they won't animate it, but they will definitely put the voice acting in. And so now we have the piece of paper covered in marmalade. It's a geological survey map. Haplo does not know why he wants one, but he wants it.
I just think he's a dick.
Yeah, Haplo's kind of a dick. So, here we are. We just stole a piece of pipe from right next to this one dwarf. Didn't seem to mind too much, more than anything else, though. This is Grapple Rockdigger. Now, Grapple has two character traits. First, he's old. Second, he's deaf.
The writers have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, he's really deaf.
Can't you hear very well?
What did you say? Speak up. I can't hear very well.
He's also really entertaining to talk to, but largely as a result of being old, cranky, and deaf.
Yeah, you know, listening to Haplo getting more and more angry, that's,
Yeah, Haplo really does not want to be dealing with this guy, but unfortunately, he's the only person on the entire island who knows anything about the Mangers, and Haplo kind of needs to know what's going on there.
Let's not worry about names.
I mean, they might have something to do with the Sartans and their special rocks that Haplo needs to collect. But Gropple's not going to help us out. We have to get rid of the gods before Grapple will help us out. We also have to fix some pipes.
What are you, deaf?
and shout.
Yeah, we have to shout at him because otherwise
Could I ask you a few questions?
he's not going to understand us anyway.
Unfortunately, they don't run the joke too much into the ground because right now, when he starts talking and expositing a little bit on what you need to do, he can hear you just fine.
Yeah, but that's good because otherwise this conversation would take up almost as much time as Czar's does.
By the way,
To me until the gods are gone? Isn't that an awful lot to ask?
yeah, you have to get rid of the gods before this guy will deign to talk with you.
Yeah, Grapple really hates those guys.
What's wrong with the Kixie Wind?
So, there we have determined our quest for at least this part of Arianis. We have to find some way to get rid of the gods. We have
I
to
know.
unoppress the dwarves so that we can talk to one crazy old man.
Yeah, we don't really care about the social revolution beyond talking with this one guy.
What about that
Also,
box
we
that
finally have a
you
reason
prepared
for
on
actually
the
picking
floor?
up all these pipes.
Yeah, before now, Haplo's just been stealing pipes. Mostly because I could interact with them, therefore I want to steal them.
Now there aren't any.
What became of the missing pipe fittings?
Who knows? Some folks have
We are going to need all of the pipe fittings before we can repair this broken piece of pipe. Honestly, I have no idea how they managed to break it quite
even
the
made
way
off
they
with one
did.
of them. Even if I could get those other pieces back, I'll never see that one again.
Wait a
But,
second. What exactly
yeah,
are
we're
you
going to
holding
need
in your
all of
hand?
them, and he's using one of them. Kind of a problem, Matt.
Tell you what, if I repair your
Yeah,
pipe,
this is
will
a
you
puzzle
tell me what I
actually.
need
It's
to know?
you have to actually endure his conversation to get his pipe.
Yeah, you really do have to put up with Grapple and everything he's going to talk about. And you shouldn't mention you're a god to him, because
I
he
don't
does
think
not
the pipe
like
helps
them.
your hearing all
And
that
that
much.
would cause
Can I have it?
problems. You can be as much of a jerk as you want to him, but you shouldn't mention that you're
Will
a
there
god.
be anything else?
Who cares about your plumbing problems? I think you're personally
In
blocked.
fact, Haplo's going to be as much
Constipation
of a
would
jerk
answer
as he
a lot of
wants to
questions
be.
about your personality.
I do. Now
Let's
go
make
away and
poo
let me take care of
jokes.
all by myself.
So now we have 3 of the pipes, and maybe that's enough to fix this.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
we cannot rotate the pipes, by the way. In a lot of problems like this in adventure games, you can. We don't have pipe rotating technology.
This is also going to become a recurring theme, like these tiny little mini games or puzzle segments where you have to fix something or arrange something in order.
Yeah, Haplo has not mastered the art of turning things.
not talking to you until those gods are gone and my pipe is fixed.
He is completely happy to drip oil on Groppel's head.
Time and get on the job, you lazy.
I do like Groppel. I mean, he's like someone wanted a dwarf character. They made him stubborn and old and grumpy, and dwarf.
Yeah.
So it's not original, but it's well done.
Now, that's the god's ship out there, and to get past this guard, we're gonna have to do something to distract him, because otherwise he'll hear us the moment we get close. Well, we've got temperature sensors and alarm bells.
And also a glowing figure outside, because hey, why not?
Yeah, well, I'm stumped. And this is the control room of the Kixie Winsy, as demonstrated by the giant drill and the weird computer stand. We can't interact with it because of the glowing figures that are busy doing so. So instead, we're going to play around with the heat sensor.
Let's make it cold. That'll work, right?
But at least it does register that we're doing something with the temperature.
Yeah, it actually does, explain that you had some kind of effort. Keep going, keep experimenting with it.
But no, the correct answer is to heat it up, wake up the dwarf with the alarm bells, and endure this really annoying ringing sound.
While watching the animation budget at work.
And because this glowing figure has really good hearing, he's completely distracted trying to get rid of those bells. And instead we're on it's an elf ship. Yeah, these guys are elves.
Yeah, that's kind of obvious.
Yeah, they're dicks, of course they're elves.
So
we're going to steal the wizard's wine. Hepler doesn't even like wine.
But yeah, he recognizes this wizard because this wizard wear pants and shirts, as, patrons do. Also, There's wizard stuff on the floor.
Yep, not very useful wizard stuff, and we can't steal his figurines because they are literally nailed to the floor.
Which makes sense on a flying ship, I mean, honestly.
Yep, and covering them with the white shirt doesn't do anything. So, I'm out of solutions, let's check out the basement.
Surprise! Humans!
Yeah, the elves have enslaved some humans to operate the wings of their boat.
And, note here, Haplo mentions, they have mongrel hair colors and are kind of dumpy and strange looking, but he can pass as one.
Yeah, it's probably easier than explaining that he is one of the survivors of an ancient race from outside this world. And I actually choose the wrong option here. I should have spat on the elves.
Of course, that's true. I'll simply have to believe you. I don't have much choice.
I feel that would have been more Haplo.
Works fair enough, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, he's still being kind of a dick to this guy, so...
The only slave in here who gets to keep a shirt and a vest.
Yeah, that's how you can tell he's important.
Not
important enough that the elves searched him, but important.
Here's a little bit of the politics from the book. The idea is that the Elven Empire is the largest empire in Arianus. They are the makers of the dragon ships. They are the ones who control the flow of water from the Kixie Winsy. And they enslaved all of the humans on Arianus for a very long time. Or at least the vast majority of humans. And it's a very recent development that they actually earned their freedom.
The game will not mention that part. The game's just going to show us that the humans and the elves are at war. It won't tell us how the humans managed to unenslave themselves.
It involved hypnotizing dragons into doing their bidding. We won't be seeing any dragons on Arianus.
Yeah, there are no dragons on Arianus as far as the game is concerned. There's just a human castle, which the Duke has pointed us towards, on the island of Eulandia.
And we finally have a name for this continent, which is Drevlin.
So, they're going to he's going to want us to go see his cousin the king on Eulandia with his signet ring to prove that we've actually met him. That way the king can come and defeat the elves on this ship and rescue him.
And, it might seem a bit strange trusting Haplo immediately, but let's think about it. They're on Drevlin, and there's this apparently human guy who is walking free. Obviously he has some way off the island.
Yeah, and he's not an elf, and that's really the best they're going to get now.
Yeah, that's enough.
I mean, he's not a dwarf either, but the dwarves have proven to be extremely useless in doing things.
Miniature statues that he uses as substitutes. He keeps them all aboard the ship in one place.
He does know that the dwarves think the elves are gods.
Yeah, he's basically sussed out the entire plot here.
Yeah. I'm not entirely sure how, since only one dwarf has come anywhere near this ship and never got into the slave hold, but maybe the elves have been talking about it.
Yeah, possibly.
This is our world map for Arianis, and now that we have 2 locations, we can actually drive our boat to places other than... We can also wear his ring.
Curious that he doesn't presume too much.
Well, I mean, Haplo knows that he's not really a duke or anything. He's just a thief. So, now that we have a goal that we can achieve, since we obviously can't get rid of the elves at this point, we're going to want to head for the human castle.
Feel free to look around.
And meet King Stephen, the man who... Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. When I was a kid, I thought that the fact that one of the levers on this machine is broken meant I was going to have to fix it. No.
No. Apple doesn't care.
Yeah, it's just broken because the Kixie Whimsy is kind of breaking down.
Yeah, and it's sort of a visual indicator. Yep, something it's operating, but it's a little ding.
I've enjoyed talking with you, but
yeah, unfortunately, this is really all that we're going to ever be talking to Jar about. She's not very important in the game.
No, unfortunately.
She also doesn't want her marmalade back. I don't think she noticed that we stole it from her. We're literally right next to her.
Either that or she just genuinely does not care.
That's possible. Now, we don't actually steer the ship with the steering stone. We use the ship's wheel to move around on the world map. The steering stone is just for moving between worlds. And, we will explore King Stephen's castle next time. Anything that you feel like adding here at the end?
Oh, Jar. Oh, Jar.
Yeah, I'm sure that you can talk about that more in the thread. Thank you for joining us for Death Gate. Join us next time when we learn more about the local humans.
See ya.